Give it up for Sammy and Candy. Yes. Give it up for Sammy and Candy. Yes, yes, yes. That's the Lindy Hop. Guys, thank you so much, Sammy and Candy. They are amazing dancers. Give it up one more time. One more time. This is Candace Franklin, Michelle, and this is Samuel Coleman. They go by Sammy and Candy. They are also representing Jazz Ain't Dead. And they are Lindy Hop All-Stars and teachers throughout New York City. And we're so happy to have them here. I'm going to give a little bit more of an introduction of them a little bit later as we get into the program. But please give it up for Sammy and Candy one more time. Thank you, guys. All right. Hello and welcome. My name is Sekou McMiller. I am the curator and producer of this evening's programming, where we are celebrating the Savoy 100, a Centennial celebration, 100 years of the Harlem iconic Savoy Ballroom. Give it up for yes, home of the Lindy Hop, birth of the Lindy Hop, home of the Happy Feet. Yes, so this program tonight, we're going to do a little bit of dancing. You're going to do a little bit of dancing as well. You ready for that? Yeah, just no. So we're going to do a little dancing. We're going to hear a little history. We're going to have a little talk. So we're going to take you through the whole thing to give, because not everyone understands or knows the full history of the Savoy Ballroom, but also the amount of time that we have is enough to give you the whole history, but it can give you a little bit of context to know where we're coming from and why we're celebrating this iconic ballroom. And then we'll have a nice talk after that with a legend from the ballroom who danced there, who did many things there, and saw it until it was no longer the ballroom there, but it continues beyond. So first of all, we're going to get with the history of the Savoy Ballroom with a presentation by, I know, Julia Loving. Julia is an educator, dancer, community organizer, and has dedicated her career to preserving and promoting Lindy Hop and Africana history. A longtime New York City public school educator, she serves on the board of the Frankie Manning Foundation and the Black Lindy Hoppers Fund. And as a co-founder of Swing With Us NYC, she creates inclusive Harlem-based dance spaces that honor and uplift the Black roots of swing. Yes. So please give Julia Love a round of applause as she gives us the history of the Savoy Ballroom. Here you go.
All right, thank you. Hello, dear Savoy patrons. Goodwill. Every single thing we have accomplished has been done to merit your goodwill and friendship. We have given you the world's most beautiful ballroom where you have been entertained by premier artists of America. Let me take my glasses off, y'all. We have never overcharged you. We have provided you with the first high-class, clean, and moral amusement center in our history, where you have been proud to come with yourself to bring your mother, your sister, your sweetheart. We have provided happiness to hundreds of thousands of people from every part of the United States who have made the Savoy a household word throughout the nation. The coming season will be a bigger, better, brighter than ever season. Next Wednesday evening, September 15th, marks the night of the grand fall opening. From the night of the Savoy will be the center of all that is social and cheer. Come to the Savoy next week, Wednesday night. You will really enjoy yourself beyond your wildest dreams. You will receive souvenirs, hear some additional bands, see a clever show, and perhaps win the new Star Roadster, which we are giving free to one of our patrons on that night. 85 cents is all it costs. And don't forget your wardrobe. We thank you, Savoy World's Finest Ballroom, Lenox Avenue, 140th and 141st Street. Sincerely, Mo Gales and Charles Buchanan. That came from the New York Amsterdam News, September 8th, 1926. So, welcome and thank you all for being here. I am Julia Loving. Tonight I invite you all to step into the vibrant history of this Savoy Ballroom, a place where music and movement and community came together and to create something special, extraordinary, and long-lasting. I can't talk about the Savoy Ballroom without talking about the people who brought it to life. They came from throughout the African diaspora. So, of course, you have to talk about the Great Migration. How many of you have heard of that term before? Right? Of course. People leaving the South, 6 million African Americans from rural South. My parents were a part of this Great Migration, leaving Virginia in 1960. So it spanned from 1910 to 1970, right? The mid-1920s, many people ended up coming to Harlem. And we cannot leave our Caribbean brothers and sisters out of that story, right? Often when we hear about the Great Migration, we only think about the Black American experience, but you also have the Caribbean populations that came. 25% of the population, that population ended up here in Harlem. And we can't forget about the role the Pullman Porters played. Anybody ever hear of the Pullman Porters? Yeah. One of the first unionized, right? Certainly. So they got on those trains. They were called 10,000 Men Named George, right? After George Pullman himself. Certainly, they were the ones that helped shape this black middle class that we see move into different parts of the United States. 6 million people. Just imagine that. I'm going to go on. So, of course, you've heard of the Harlem Renaissance. Yes? Okay. Black migrations reshaping New York City politically, socially, and economically. A new African-American identity. Harlem covers up to 3 square miles, yet it drew 175,000 people. Right? Of course, you could see, when it got hot, you would see the population outside, right? And, of course, they always gave, I learned a lesson from a guy from Uganda last summer. He said, this reminds me of Africa, everybody outside. And I said, you know what? You know why they're out? He goes, because it's hot. It's hot inside. And often people will see Harlem and say, oh, that's a ghetto because they're outside. But no, the apartments, the tenement buildings are very hot. The air conditioning is expensive, correct? And this is communal. And it's communal, all right? And that's very African in nature, right? The neighborhood of Harlem is the largest concentration of black people in the world. Cultural explosions of black art, music, literature, voting opportunities, and political gains, they shift for African Americans. Because remember, what was going on down south? Could they vote? No, right? We had them Jim Crow segregation laws that were stopping and impeding that experience and that way of life. So they get up here, you have more numbers. The collective allows them to vote and vote who they want in. Key figures, Marcus Garvey, certainly with the United Negro Improvement Association, UNI, right? We have the NAACP with Dr. Du Bois. We have Alan Locke coining the term the New Negro. Blacks challenged segregation, lynchings that were going on in the South. People up here fought against what was going on, promoted black self-determination, racial pride. So that's new Negro, right? A new assertiveness. Harlem became densely populated, a black metropolis. As the neighborhood grew rapidly, a lot of white flight is taking place as well. So with that, the businesses are going too. And so are the economic. We see that even today, right? Often the business is not supported, right? So the economy drops here in Harlem. Vibrant nightlife, clubs, theaters, and movie theaters as well. I'm gonna move that forward. Black employment. So I'm thinking about these people that are going to the Savoy, right? Many of them are using the Savoy as a means of healing from the daily traumas that they're dealing with as, of course, domestic workers, housekeepers, laundress. Men often are baggage handlers, cooks, waiters, janitors. And again, I told you about those 10,000 men named George, right? They worked in the steel mills, construction, but many also were entrepreneurs. Not to say that they didn't have businesses. We had several that created their own businesses, including barbershops and beauty salons and tailor shops and restaurants. The nightlife during the Harlem Renaissance, some of the individuals found employment in these entertainment fields, in these industries, musicians, singers, and in nightclubs, they often catered to white audiences as well. You know, you think about the Cotton Club. Everybody wants to pump up the Cotton Club. But we couldn't take a date there. You couldn't go as an individual. You could go and perform and then say goodbye, right? That's why I pump up the Savoy. All right, professional roles. Some worked as artists, writers, educators, particularly with the growing community of intellectuals that are coming about here in Harlem. These are some of the things that are popping up in Harlem. We have the Harlem Wrens, the basketball team. 1926, when the Savoy Ballroom opens up, so does Black History Month, Negro History Week. Who is the father of Negro History Week? Not just Carter, Dr. Carter G. Woodson. That's what I say to my students. Don't leave out the doctor, right? And you have, so if you look, just think about everything we're seeing here, right? You also have Oscar Micheaux. Does anyone know who that is? The filmmaker. One of the first black, right? Directors, filmmaker, right? We had the Fire magazine. We also had the Crisis magazine of the NAACP, right? And again, you have the people, the community on the front tenement stoop, right? We also have, what is that right next to where it says 1920s, 30s in Harlem? Can anyone see what those are? Red parties, yes. Yes. Yes, indeed, yes, indeed. The rent parties. Norma loved those rent parties. She's Norma Miller, Queen of Swing, loved the rent parties. And her mom. And I think Frankie Manning mentions a lot about rent parties, too, with his mom. So, of course, we also had the Schomburg Library Center popping up 1926. The man named Arturo Schomburg, he was a black Puerto Rican, Afro-Latino. And he was told when he was young that Africans had no history, and therefore he had no history. So what he decided to do, when he had a chance and had the money and resources, he started collecting his own materials from the diaspora, from Africa and the diaspora. And he actually yielded 10,000 articles that the New York Public Library purchases in 1926. So you think about all of this stuff popping up, right? And at the same year, Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois' daughter marries County Cullen, the poet. Right? And you have that little map right there is a map of all the different nightclubs here in Harlem at the time. Does anyone know who that man holding the newspaper is? James Van Der Zee. So, of course, without him, we wouldn't have saw all those glamorous pictures of us black folks, right? So much, prior to that, we always are seen as, on a plantation or, very downbeat and all of that, right? But he showed us in a different light. He showed us that we were military vets. He showed us that we were parts of clubs and organizations. We were educated. We had religion. He showed us in all these different lights. And then, of course, you have the picture of the Great Migration. And if you notice, they are only carrying what they can handle, a luggage, a jacket, and they traveled in their best that they had, right? That was always something my grandmother said. If you got to go somewhere, represent yourself, right? Don't walk around with a scarf on your head. So I have one here, but it's an African garb, right? And then we have popping up March 12th, 1926, the world's finest ballroom, the Savoy Ballroom. All right, a place, and then there was the Savoy Ballroom. Why was it important? Why was it special? Everybody came to dance. Black joy, black excellence, black resilience, inclusivity, acceptance, a community space. And it was a place that people leaned on. They danced till 4 a.m. I remember Miss Barbara Billups and Miss Sugar Sullivan saying, we danced and went to work afterwards. She goes, I didn't feel tired until I got to work. Yeah, so I'm just going to show you all a little film real quick. I had some other films, but
The
just for
Savoy
time
covered a whole
patterns.
city block on Lenox Avenue between 140th and 141st Streets. Employed 2 bands at once so that the music need never stop, and was so popular with dancers that its maple and mahogany floor had to be replaced every 3 years. Just 50 cents on weeknights, 75 cents on Sundays. The Savoy was called the home of happy feet and offered depression-ravaged Harlem a respite from its troubles.
The windows was wide open, and so the music can come out, blast right into our living room. Every night we heard this marvelous music. And in those days, in the summer, the fire escape was where you sat to be cool. There was no air conditioning, nowhere. So by sitting on a fire escape, and our fire escape faced the back windows of the Savoy Ballroom. And you ever see shadows when people dance past the windows? You can see figures dancing to that music. And my sister and I would respond to what we saw in the windows of the Savoy, and we would get into the living room and dance to some of the best bands in the world.
For years, Norma listened to the music and dreamed of going inside. In the spring of 1931, she got her chance.
Precisely, it was Easter Sunday, 12 years old. And you know, in those days, you always had a new outfit to go out to church. 4 o'clock, there's a matinee gonna be at the Savoy Ballroom. And after church, I dashed up to Lenox Avenue. And the people that went into the Savoy were sharp. And we used to just stand outside to watch them, and that's what I was doing. We started dancing outside the Savoy Ballroom. And I heard somebody say to me, "Hey, kid." And I turned around, and he said, you. And then I turned around, and I recognized immediately who it was. It was the great Twist Mouth George in a white hat, white suit, white everything, asking me to come into the ballroom to dance with him. And he said, "Would you come and dance?" I said, "Would I?" He grabbed me, we dashed up the stairs. And I don't know whether I hit each step, because he had such long legs. And I remember just flying up those stairs with him. And you go through these doors. And I think it was the most beautiful place I'd ever seen in my life. The reds and the greens and the blues. And that was the first time I ever saw a band on a bandstand. I mean, I'd been seeing the shadows. And I'm so excited. He took me over there in the corner and sat me down and brought me a Coke and said, "You sit here and I'll come and get you." And finally, it was his turn for Twist Mouth George to come, and he came and got me, and he said, "Let's go." When they hit that music, all I know is I did everything. He just threw me out. My feet never touched the ground. Was screaming, and he put me on top of his shoulders, walked me around the ballroom, and the people is clapping and talking about Twist Mouth, and he took me right around to the front, right outside, and put me back outside. Greatest moment in my life, and I'm excited. I'm gonna go home and tell my mother and my sister. And then I said, "No, I better not say nothing."
The Savoy covered a whole city block on Lenox Avenue.
God bless, and may she rest in peace, Miss Norma, the queen of swing, Miss Norma Miller. Yes. So, 596 Lenox Avenue, between 140th and 141st Street. This is the specifics of the Savoy Ballroom. And if you look at the image, if you can see it, you can actually see, it actually does look like a track, right? And that's what it's noted for. They call it the track. Famous dance music venue, swing era, of course, opens in 1926. The first I think this is very important, the first racially integrated dance venue in the United States, okay? Very risky, right? Patrons came from everywhere, black and white, poor, rich, famous, superstars, community folk, uptown, downtown, all around town, all around the world. open 7 days a week. That's a lot, right? As marquee as the world's finest ballroom, nicknamed home of the happy feet. And by the regular patrons, they called it the track. 10,000 square foot spring-loaded mahogany and maple dance floor. So when you danced on it, you felt like you were doing something. You know, so often, I'm a street dancer, we dance everywhere, but there's a difference between having a nice wood floor. Double bandstands, why would you do that? Why would you have a double bandstand? So you have two bands so the music would never stop, right? Certainly. All right. And it was well ventilated. Not with air conditioning, but it was well ventilated. And there's a question mark between 4,000 and 5,000 dancers at peak nights there. Yeah. Designed to be elegant, welcoming, and spacious. In the early years, admission fees varied from 20 cents to 80 cents, depending on the time you arrived. Can you imagine over 700,000 people per year visiting this space from all around? Oh, man, yeah. Cat's Corner, a specific elite area on the dance floor. This is where the Whitey's Lindy Hoppers would perform. Not even perform, this is where they would dance during the nightly showtime. Only the best Lindy Hoppers were allowed to compete. The Savoy experienced 5 distinctly different interior decorations that were done between 1926 and 1958. Certainly the colors of golden and blue decor, glitter chandeliers served as a runaway, where the most elite fashions of the era were displayed. So when people went there, of course they dressed to the nines. We'll look at that in a little bit. But it was radical policy to have no segregation policy. Norman Miller would say, oh yeah, the Italian boys from the Bronx would come and we get to dance with them. She said those were the ones that were really good looking. When I would sit down at Beantown Dance Camp with her and she would tell us about these stories at the Savoy Ballroom. She goes, yeah, the good looking boys from the Bronx and the Jewish boys from Brooklyn. And she goes, there were no inhibitions with regards to dancing with one another. No one stopped them, you know. And that could have been a problem outside of the Savoy, right? Now, everyone there were professional dancers as well. So I wanted to make sure I noted that I have a sorority sister, Thyra Henry, that mentioned, well, I was a sorority girl, and I just, I helped one of my sorors set up a party there. And I danced, but I wasn't doing all the aerials and all of that. So it made me realize that not everybody were dancers, all these professional dancers. They went to enjoy. Owned by, and the Savoy was a white-owned black space. 85% of the patrons were African-American or black of African descent. Mo Gale, a Jewish business owner, manager Charles Buchanan. He was a civic leader hailing from Barbados. Often, we don't know that he's from Barbados. When you hear his name, it's like, yeah, his family hailed from Barbados. 90 permanent employees. That means 90 people, possibly in Harlem, the Harlem community, is being, employed. Anybody? Yeah. Someone's phone? Oh, he's like, it's mine. Is that you, Mr. Allen? I know it's you, Mr. Allen. Mr. Sonny. All right. So musicians, waiters, cashiers, floor attendants, porters, and administrative assistants, hat check girls, all of that. And these are some articles that came out during different time periods. Of course, the opening, the inaugural ball of the Savoy Ballroom, Erskine Hawkins, Savoy's Lindy Hoppers, the rug cut, Savoy's World's Fair. If you get a chance, you have to Google the World's Fair here in New York. The Whitey's Lindy Hoppers actually participated in it. Okay, so if you get that chance. Hopper comes a cropper. you have that, right? And you also have February 23rd. Contrary to popular impression, the Lindy Hop was not first performed in musical comedies and revues on Broadway. It was created in the Savoy Ballroom. And we have certainly Shorty George Snowden to actually thank for that. Let's move on. Audience participation. Did anyone get anything when they came in? Can you all read, read something that they received? So, because I thought it'd be important for you all to hear some of the quotes that people said about the Savoy.
At the Savoy Ballroom,
Okay. Amsterdam News. Still around.
It was a building, a geographic place, a ballroom, and the soul of a neighborhood.
All right.
One of the reasons for the early development of great big band jazz at the Savoy was the presence of great dancers.
That's right.
My first impression was that I had stepped into another world. I had been to other ballrooms, but this is different. Much bigger, more glamour, real class. Leon James.
Leon James, the Whitey's Lindy Hopper. Yes. You can read, yes.
The Heart of Harlem by Langston Hughes. This sweeping poem identifies the Savoy as one of the essential landmarks that define the neighborhood souls. Calling it the place, quote, where new dances are born.
All right. You can read yours, sure.
The Savoy was dancing heaven. Everybody was moving and grooving.
All right. Anyone else get anything to read? You can read, sure.
Norma Miller, we didn't have segregation at the Savoy. It opened the doors for all people being together.
That's right. Anyone else? Okay.
The Savoy was one of the great centers of culture in the United States, even though it was then thought of as simply a place of entertainment.
All right.
Frankie Manning, all we wanted to know when you came into the Savoy was,
Do you dance? Okay, you can read. Thank you. Yeah. You got something?
No institution had more to do with the development or the sophistication, the variety and the richness and the precision of jazz than institutions like the Savoy Ballroom. But dance has always been central, and I always want to see jazz connected to dance.
Yes.
Albert Murray.
All right.
It was quoted in Stepping on the Blues.
Right, that's a book. Yes. Okay. So hearing different perspectives, you know. There are writers. You have something else you want to read? You had something? Oh, sure, you can.
Jay McShann, we used to play the Savoy Ballroom, and we always had a boogie tune in the set.
All right. Anyone else? All right, thank you.
The band playing at the Savoy, it had to be right. If the music was not right, and one of the owners or somebody go up and tell the band, if he can't,
Sorry.
the customers would leave. It's
Barbara
Barbara Billups.
Billups. And that was an interview she did with Joseph Sewell in I think it's over in, he was in London at the time or somewhere overseas. And she looked at him and he said, well, they would make him leave? Well, what was they supposed to do? They were the owners, and if they didn't stop the band, they would lose customers, right? I just thought it was the funniest thing. Okay, I'm gonna move on. All right. So certainly, I just want to go back. That's Shorty George Snowden that actually the Lindy Hop is named by. Of course, he claims it was something that he took from the experience of knowing that the Charles Lindbergh did his international flight overseas. Right? So you had certainly that generation of dancers, one of the first generations of Lindy Hoppers. Then you had the Whitey's Lindy Hoppers with Frankie Manning, Norma Miller, Al Minns, Leon James, and so many others. We also had post-World War II generations of dancers that were attending the Savoy Ballroom. We have Mr. Sonny. Sonny, I left your N out, extra N, but it's not Sonny Allen, it's Sonny Allen. Mr. Sonny Allen, Ms. Barbara Billups, Ms. Sugar Sullivan, George Sullivan, Pepsi Bethel, George Lloyd. George Sullivan trained, he was the ex-husband of Sugar Sullivan, trained 23 Harvest Moon Ball champions. So that's a great feat. Yeah. I wanted to show Sugar because I think this was really good. I mean,
the Jitterbug champion, Ruth and George Sullivan.
I think every Lindy Hopper should know how to do the stops. Mr. Clyde Wilder taught us the stops. And she will be in town for our Savoy Ballroom program on the 21st at Riverside Church. You could get the flyers in the front. Yeah. That was, yeah, I love sugar. Okay. And, of course, Whitey's Lindy Hoppers. Has everyone seen Hell's a Poppin' before? All right, so maybe I can move on from that, or although it's a great scene. Y'all sound like my students. They're like, play it, Miss Loving, play it. Here we go.
Hey, Pops, keep that beat a beat. I feel a rhythmic brainstorm coming on. 1, 2, keep that rhythm heating. One more riff like that and I'll be gone. Oh man, don't stop now, we're jumping. Give everything.
That's the first, some hip hop. You hear him? He's rhyming.
Into something. I ain't mistaken, here comes something now.
That's Miss Norman Wheeler, the queen of swing right there. Yeah. So if you want to get somebody's money, you got to do this move. Watch this move. Watch this. Take that change. Yes, Frankie Manning. Forward. Of course, we had Chick Webb. We have live music at the Savoy. Jazz was the pop music at that time period. And just also, you know, just to reiterate the fact that jazz is meant to be danced to, right? It certainly is. You had house bands over the course of years. You had Chick Webb Orchestra. You had people like Count Basie, Benny Goodman, and, you know, certainly Benny Goodman, if we move forward, we talk about the Battle of the Bands, who was the king of swing. So according to Norma Miller and Frankie Manning, they said that it was certainly Chick Webb. And so did the rest of the audience. They agreed. Even Gene Cooper said, you know, we had to bow down to Chick Webb that night, for sure. This took place in 1937 at the Savoy. And he also battled Count Basie as well. I think that was a harder decision. Yeah. And then you have Miss Ella Fitzgerald that takes over for Chick Webb when he passes away. She's actually adopted by Chick Webb and his wife. She was singing at the Apollo, well, she was dancing at the Apollo and she got booed. I don't know if you ever go to an amateur night. Yeah. Certainly when you get booed, you're like, oh my gosh. I saw my cousin get booed off the stage there. So it was like, ooh, right? But she got booed, but she turned it around. She started singing. And this is what Miss Norma Miller told us at breakfast. It got so quiet, it was you could hear a rat piss on cotton. That's what she said. That's how quiet it got when Ella started singing. Yeah, so that's Miss Ella Fitzgerald. Yeah, and Norma had all kinds of stories, right? Of course, you had to be dressed to the nines, wearing one's finest. You know, like we equal to your church codes. All right, I'm almost done, right? In the black community, you better come and represent, right? Tailored suits, fedoras, and it changes over the generation. You think all these different decades, right? Things change, the attire and all, but you still need to smell good and look good, okay? All right. Why did the Savoy Ballroom close? Of course, community was told they were going to rebuild across the street, but that was fiction. Changing music that people didn't dance to. That's another thought. Some say, others say, right? Urban housing and redevelopment. I think that was more of it, right? We see that going on in Harlem right now. Urban economic decay. When white flight happens, a lot of times, monies are not pumped back into the community, right? And of course, drugs were pumped into the community as well. You started seeing a lot of heroin being put out there in the community.
And television. Television came in around that time.
Yes, and television. Thank you, Mr. Clyde Wilder, the Clyde Wilder. Clyde Wilder used to dance with of course, Miss Norma Miller, Queen of Swing, and Frankie Manning as well. So we have the legend still here too. All right. There's also a plaque. The people that created it, they say it's not a plaque, it's called a marker, a Savoy marker, which stands outside of the Delano houses, or what we call now the Savoy Park houses, and that's the plaque. And of course, there are all kinds of ballrooms that have popped up called Savoy Ballroom, Savoy Manor. We cannot leave out the Mamalou Park's dancers and Miss Mamalou Park. She was actually a worker at the Savoy Ballroom, and she continued that legacy of the Savoy Ballroom, teaching another generation. And he said, 5 minutes, I'm going to show it to you anyway. So these are the parquettes up at Savoy Manor in the Bronx. And Clyde worked with some of the parquettes as well. So you're talking about late 60s and 70s, and at the same time, hip-hop is at the Savoy Manor as well. So you start seeing the acrobatics that the Savoy Ballroom to Savoy Manor, and then you start seeing the hip-hop artists at the same space. So you can't help but think of the continuum of this black dance. All right. I'll stop it, but there you go. I had to show it. I know he said 5 minutes. Okay, let me go. Let me go on. Well, the legacy of the Savoy, sparked with the worldwide swing dance movement, influenced jazz, dance culture, and integration in nightlife. Though closed in 1958, follow-on swing dance communities still thrive. Its legacy continues to influence music and dance today. The marker commemorates the location, as I said. Today, there are Lindy Hop dance camps, dance events, performers around the world. And I think that's what really these dancers wanted to make sure. Norma Miller said to, and I would keep saying Norma because Norma I was closest to. Norma I knew. She said, don't let them forget us. So I feel it's my duty to not let people forget them, right? And being an African American, a foundational Black American, they're trying to erase us daily. So it's our role to, in our positioning, to make sure that doesn't happen. There are documentaries and books to preserve the memory, and the youth preserve the memory. So we have to pour into the next generations. I'm just going to show one more, because this is our Lindy babe, okay, Brandon Barker. So he learned how to Lindy Hop with Samuel Coleman, myself, and the rest of his Lindy Hop family that's somewhere in the audience, the elders as well. And this is a video taken from an event that I do called the New York Lindy Exchange, and he's with a group called the Harvest Moon Hoppers. So we're talking about pour into you. Brandon started dancing with us at 13. So I'll show you him. This was from last year's awards dance. right, this is Brandon Barker. Don't let it play, because this will be the last. And you look at the group, right? It's an integrated group. I just wanted to show we are actually hosting an event, a fundraising event, on the 21st of March at Riverside Church Assembly Hall, and this is a fundraiser to keep the arts in Harlem with Harlem Swings, as well as the Black Lindy Hoppers Fund. So you are all welcome to join us. You can buy a ticket online. We have flyers in the front. So it's definitely important to keep up this actual dance and understand that if you want to see the Savoy Ballroom, that's on there too. But anyway, there are references I have. If anybody wants a copy of that, that's fine. You can take a picture of it. A lot of this stuff is online, and it's great that we have access to stuff, right? Years ago, we didn't have access. Now we can share information and see it all over. And so just remember, the spirit still lives. The spirit still lives. Happy 100th Centennial to the world's famous Savoy Ballroom, 3/12/2026. And thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julia. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to move out of your light. Give her a round of applause, please. Yes. Miss Julia Loving. It worked. And like I said, we couldn't get all that information into 40 minutes, right? But that means we got to bring her back, right? Yeah. It also means you got to go to her event, correct? Yeah. Yes, what's that on? Flyers are fun on March 12th. 21st. Oh, I'm so sorry. The 21st, don't let me steer you wrong. Look at the flyer, get the flyer. Thank you so much, Julia Loving. Thank you. Thank you. So you guys having a good time? Yes, and interactive and your notes. That's amazing. I'm always enamored and just blown away by the wealth that we currently have in our community, like a Julia Loving, to lovingly bring this information to us and to chronicle it and make sure that, it doesn't get lost. And as you said, like Norman Miller said, don't let them forget us, and may no one forget us who are in this room today, right? And so we showed a little dance and now a little history. But I would like to bring up here now to get into a conversation with a legend that is in the room that's among us. Who is here? Yes. So he's a dance legend of the Savoy Ballroom and the Palladium Ballroom. He is one of the last surviving interpreters of the original Savoy style of swing. Across a career spanning more than 6 decades, he has mastered mambo, swing, foxtrot, and tap, developing a smooth, sophisticated style uniquely his own. A dancer, a drummer, a singer, a cultural philosopher. Grew up in the 1930s Harlem after his family immigrated from Barbados, immersed in the music and movement that defined an era. He will later to go on to become a recording artist, a record producer, a club promoter, and a world phenomenon, traveling the world, both teaching and dancing, and still doing it to this day. Yes, I'd like to bring to the stage the legend himself, Mr. Sonny Allen. Come on down, Mr. Allen.
That's what happens when you get old, see. Don't believe that, don't.
So, Mr. Allen, we've done this before, too many times, for different reasons, because he just has such a plethora of knowledge and spans through different genres of dance and music, and just iconic in his relationships with other artists, both famous and non-famous, from singers to boxers to different socialites and historians from Harlem. So I've been in many conversations with Mr. Sonny Allen in the past, and today we'll be focusing on his time at the Savoy Ballroom. So, Mr. Allen, I know you can see, you talk, you can say a lot, and you have a lot of stories.
No,
So,
okay.
I was going to prompt you with a question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because he'll take us there. So, when did you first hear about the Savoy Ballroom?
When I came out of service.
Oh, what year was that?
That was 1957. I won the Harvest Moon Ball in 58. In 1957, I was in Okinawa, Japan, Korea, and everything else. When I came out of that, I went up to the Savoy with a friend of mine. And he told me, why don't you come up there? I said, all right. So I went to the Savoy, and Savoy, it's hard to explain. You go to the right, to the left. You go up the stairs. And when you go into the ballroom, there was a big bandstand there that held two bandstands, both of them together. One thing the Savoy was known for is that it never continuous music. Charles Buchanan used to tell the bands, when one stopped the last note, you play the first note. It's no thing where you stop. Like in a lot of clubs, what happens is that they would have to set up, change bands, set up on this one. You didn't set up. If you couldn't do that, he'll tell you to get out. I seen him do that to Tito Puente.
Wow.
Right? I was up in...
So, Mr. Allen, before you go into your story, because I knew you're about to, I'm going to try to keep us like in a chronological order.
We talk about everything, Chef.
We talk about everything. And we're going to get there. We just put a pin in Tito Puente, right? So when you arrived there for the first time and you give us your impression of how it looked, like what were your thoughts? Because the next year you say you won the Harvest Moon Ball, so how did that happen?
Yeah, well, I won the Harvest Moon Ball.
What were your thoughts?
In 58.
Exactly.
You see. But when I went up the stairs,
yes,
I saw a girl was standing in the front, you know. And I knew I was sharp, so I went over to her and asked her, you want to dance? And she looked at me and said, you don't know how to dance.
Oh.
Now, if you know anything about brothers in those days, I wanted to curse her out, but I didn't. I said, but to myself, one of these days, you gonna beg me to dance with you. And I went and learned how to do swing. But what was popular with me is that I was a tap dancer.
Okay.
I came out of Ruth Williams and Henry Latang dancing studios.
Okay.
Henry Latang is one of the best black choreographers that you had, not only in New York, but in the United States.
Can you repeat
He's
the name
the one
again?
that did Bubble and Brown Sugar and the rest of them. You know, that's where I met Jimmy Slide and Buster Brown and the Nicholas Brothers and all of us. You know, so
Who taught you your? I mean, you say you went and you learned how to do swing, but you were coming from a tap background. Who was it that you leaned on to learn the Lindy?
well, actually, what they was doing.
Okay.
There's a thing they used to go up there and say they used to go up and do the Big Apple and the Shim Sham. And I would see them do it. They said, man, this is Shim Sham. And I said, you know, that ain't no Shim Sham. I learned that when I first started tap dancing. The Shim Sham is nothing but the time step. Every tap dancer knew how to do that. That's where you started from. So the difference with me and them is they weren't dancers. They were just street dancers. But because I was a tap dancer, I would sing everything I did. So instead of just here, I would da ba ba ba. Now I know that's a quiet roll. But these kids out there don't know what the quiet roll is. So that's where I learned. And I went down to Madison Square Garden that year in 1958. Took it all. Yeah. I came back to the Savoy with my medal on and everything else. Come on. You know. And I was walking down the front, and this girl came up to me and said, do you feel like dancing? I said, I don't want to dance. And it happened, her husband was the one that she taught me. That was George Sullivan, Sugar Sullivan, worked for me. She was part of the first group I had, which was called the Rockettes. And we traveled all over the world. You know, from England, Germany, Sweden, France, then Montreal, Canada. I stayed in Canada all the time. That's where I tried to learn how to do French, you know, and everything else.
So, Sonny, so bringing you back to the 58, so you just won the Harvest Moon Ball, right? And I'm still curious, like, who was your partner? Like, who did you enjoy dancing with, like, during that time? Because there's a period before you win it that you're dancing. Who are you dancing with?
Well, I won the Harvest Moon Ball with a girl by the name of Marcella Washington.
Okay.
But she came out of Ruth Williams Dancing School. Then I was with Barbara.
Okay. Barbara.
And Barbara Phillips.
Phillips, okay.
And with me, I talked to him. See, before I did that, I used to sing with the harp tones that came out of Harlem from 115th Street. All of us came from there. We did Sunday Kind of Love, I'll Never Tell, Memories of You, all those type of things. So, Life is But a Dream, yeah. What happened is the lead singer of that was a guy by the name of Chisholm, but he left the group. And when he left the group, then you had all the guys in the harp tones came from 115th Street, except for the lead singer, Willie Winfield. He came out of Brooklyn. And that's when they really didn't. I told my mother, I want to go with them. She said, you don't finish school. So I got mad. When I got out of that, I went in the service. I went to the Air Force.
So how long, okay, you discovered the Savoy Ballroom, right? You take over the world by 58. And so how often did you go to the ballroom before the service and everything? Like what was your nightlife like?
I started going to Savoy all the time to learn.
Okay.
But the thing is, with me, after I won the Harvest, I go that part. I wanted to do something different. You know, mostly everybody just a Lindy Hopper. But Sammy Davis taught me something a long time ago. He said, look, what can you do? My manager told me the same thing after I won the Harvest. I said, well, you could book me. I'm going to be on the Ed Sullivan show. He said, that don't mean nothing. That only show me that you was the best amateur out of the rest of the amateurs. Ooh. Now, do you have an act? So because I was a tap dancer, I would do a tap routine, I did a ballroom routine, and then because I came out of the Palladium, I would go up there and do a Latin, a mambo, a cha-cha, and et cetera like that. And that's where I started, and I said, you know what I want to do? I want to put a group together. I always liked a big thing.
Okay.
So I used to teach 10 girls up in Savoy. And not there, it would be on 116th Street. My father used to be a captain of the Democratic Club on 115th Street, right across from the mosque, you see. And right across the street was the Democratic Club. So I used to teach them all up there. I used to teach them everything. So I brought a table up there and fork, knife, and spoon and put it down there and taught them how to eat. It sounds silly, but it's true. Because we used to work the Catskill Mountains. And we was at the Concord and Grossinger's and Tamarack and all the big hotels. And what's the funny thing is, they would book you and then put you in the head table. And you're sitting there, and you're looking just like you're looking, I used to tell the girls, if you don't know what to do and pick up and eat, wait till everybody else pick up something. If they pick up something, then you pick up. Until then, don't. That's what I did with all the girls.
So, Sonny, I have a question for you. So you say you used to train them at the Savoy Ballroom,
yeah,
right? And what like during the day or like what do you?
Every day. We used to rehearse every day.
How did you get access? How did you get access to the ballroom?
Huh?
How did you get access to the ballroom?
Charles Buchanan would let us be up there anytime we wanted.
Okay.
The first time I did a big show was at Small's Paradise with Pete McDougal and Wilt Chamberlain owned it at that time.
Oh, wow.
And I opened this show with a thing that nobody thought I would do. We did the whole complete score of Gypsy.
Oh, wow.
If you remember Gypsy from Broadway, we did the whole complete thing. I had the girls, they had the plume feathers, they had the long sleeves with the gloves and everything else, and all of them were seamstresses. Barbara, Sugar, Mommy, and Lil Bit, all of them knew how to sew. So when we used to travel, I used to carry 4 sewing machines with us. So we'd be in the dressing room, they would be sewing a new outfit while the band was playing.
Oh, wow.
You know, but that's where it started. And what we did with that is the whole complete score was, you know, it was a fanfare. Ba-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And they're doing the flying and all this junk. We did the whole complete thing. Then from that, we went to Desafinato.
Sonny,
After that.
I have a question for you because you're about to go with us. Okay, you're taking us there. So, bringing you back.
Back to the Savoy.
Of course, always back to the Savoy.
I'm already I'm in Small's Paradise.
It's Small's Paradise, but it's relevant though because that was because how does Savoy like lie within the tapestry of the space? It wasn't in a vacuum that it was happening, right? So there's many things were happening and so much was going on. And I thought, was that a regular occurrence that the ballroom was like accessible to the dancers, like not during, like?
Yeah, well, before.
Or was it just like down, you and your special relationship?
Before it closed down, Charles Buchanan would let all the dancers come up to the Savoy and rehearse in the daytime. Now the girls, a lot of times they were married or something, and they had the kids and everything else. So he hired 2 girls to babysit. And he would let them come upstairs with the carriages and everything else over in the corner, and they would put them over there, and then we would rehearse over on the other side. That's when I first met Sherry, Sugar's daughter, you know, and everything else. because she was like this when I first met Sugar's daughter. You know,
Wow.
Sugar's daughter was with Mama Lou Parks for a while too. You know, but they weren't Savoy Lindy Hoppers. It was a difference.
What's the difference?
The difference is nowadays, to this day now, mostly all these kids that do swing dance to music of Chick Webb. Chick Webb band played 4/4 time. If you don't know about this part of the music, they should learn too. When I say 4/4 time, they played boom, 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 boom. The reason why that happened is because the drummer carried the timing in those days, because they had a big bass, double bass, but you never heard it. So what you heard was the drummer. So he go bum, 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 bum. And when you do that, what happens with your head? Boom, 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 boom. Right? Now when you come to Count Basie, Duke Ellington, and all these bands, they changed up. They played 2/4 time. That's which is swing. So instead of 4/4, boom, 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 the drummer didn't carry the tempo. The bass carried the tempo. So the bass was playing doom, 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 doom. At the same time, the drummer now was freed up to play syncopation off the bass line. So when the bass is going doom, 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 the drummer will go ba-doo-doom, bop, bop, dop, dop, bop, brr, dop, bop, bop, ba-dop. Now you got a different movement. You see what I'm talking about? Now, these kids never learned that. I still go to places now. You go to Europe, same thing. They're still doing. And they play Count Basie music, and they swear I said, but you ain't dancing to the music. Because the music isn't playing what you're dancing to. Once they get the tempo here, they're gone. They don't care what it is. But the music, the syncopation is the thing that gets you to move. You see? And I teach, but it's hard a lot of times when you want to teach somebody because they learned the old way.
Yeah, unteach.
And then you try to teach them and say, no, but my instructor told me this is where we dance at the Savoy. And I said, how old is he? Or how old is she? I said, well, he's about 30 years. He don't know nothing about no Savoy. Savoy closed in 1958.
Yeah.
And you got people teaching that are 30 years old. They don't have no idea, conception about what happens at the Savoy. Another thing at the Savoy that a lot of people never realize, at the Savoy, you never got tired dancing.
Why?
And everybody try to figure out why. The reason why is that at the Savoy was the only ballroom in the United States that you had springs underneath the dance floor. It was wooden, but you had springs underneath the dance floor. So once it gave. You never saw a woman, you go to a ballroom, they take their shoes off after a few minutes. They said, my feet hurt. The Savoy you never did because the feet gave. So you can move easy. That's what was the thing about the Savoy. They called it the track too.
The track. Why? Why the
that
track?
was the thing.
Why they called the track? The track.
The track?
Yeah.
They called it the track because of the way it was built. Round, it was oval. You know, and on the left-hand side, well, my left-hand side from here, which would be your right, I think, That's where all the dancers used to hang out at, on that side. On the other side, there are people that didn't know how to dance. And you had where the tables and everything else, you had tables and everything else. You know, so it was big, though. And if you wanted to see, that's where you went. You know, that's where a lot of kids, Barbara was the thing. Barbara came up to the Savoy. She didn't know what she was doing. George went up there and threw her out there and said, "You dancing?" She didn't know that, but she wound up. Barbara, to this day, I'll say, was one of the best area Lindy hoppers that you had in the business. My dance partner, Barbara Brooks. No, she was one of the best. You know, and that goes even. Norma was good. But to me, I used to have fun with Norma. I said, "Norma, you don't know how to dance." And she looked at me like I'm crazy. I said, "It's true." Frankie Manning and all of them used to go up there and get Norma and throw her here and throw her here. I said, that's all they did with Norma. When she got out on the dance floor, the first thing to do, Frankie will go, boom, and throw over there. And Leon James will grab her on the other side, throw it back over here. And that was her dancing.
So, Sonny, I have a question for you.
You know, it's the truth.
I have a question. So, who were some of your favorite people to watch? Like, so, who were? They look like you don't cause a
I'm
ruckus.
sorry.
It's okay. No, don't worry. Don't worry.
You know, she's cursing me out.
Exactly
Norma
right.
cursed me out. All of them cursed me out. But I mean, it's the truth. There's nothing wrong with it. But she did good.
She did do good.
Fabulous.
I have a question for you,
But
Sonny.
she wasn't a tap dancer. She wasn't a dancer like I knew of dancers. When I look at Honey Coles and Atkins, Jimmy Slide.
Yeah, so who were your
Buster
favorites?
Brown, those guys, they dance. You understand? But do you know how they dance?
How they dance?
From here.
Explain.
Not down there.
Explain. What are you saying?
You know? If you want to learn how to dance, sing it.
Okay.
Don't dance, sing it. See, old days, everybody knew how, ba, 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 and that's the way they dance. But when you get the bands that play swing now, ba-do-do, ba-da, beep, ba-da, da, 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 do-do, ba. If I do that, I could do that with my feet. But if I can't do that, if you can't hear it here, it ain't gonna make no sense down there. And the idea is when you dance with a girl, I tell the guys, stop trying to be so fast. And if she don't know how to do it, don't worry about it. Get out on the floor and hold her and do 2 steps all night long. From one side to the other side, one side, and she'll feel happy.
Yes.
A woman wants to feel that the guy is holding her. She don't want to be able to think. So when you keep doing that, all of a sudden, take your hand and put it up.
Sonny.
Do this. When you do that, she made a turn.
I got a question
and she
for you.
did a turn.
Sonny, I got a question for you. So, one more question. I got me with my questions, right? So, look at all the controversy happening. So, my question deals with like who. Okay, you name some people off. We could be here forever, right, guys? Oh my God.
Huh?
So we could be here forever. We gotta just have like an evening dedicated to Sonny, right? Like a whole day, maybe. A whole day. Maybe a weekend. A weekender. So because we gotta wrap it up. Oh my God. We just started. I know. What are the questions I can ask? You know what I want to do? And be nice. I want to take it to the audience for just like maybe 2 questions for Sonny, Savoy Ballroom related. Yeah, because he got a lot of stories for you. I'm still wondering, like, when did Sammy Davis Jr. tell you what? Okay, anyway. One second, Sonny. I want to throw it to the audience. Anyone has any questions for Sonny? Okay. You're amazing.
Huh?
Hello.
What?
You're amazing.
No, I ain't.
Hi.
What? You got something to say?
I know
Oh.
nowadays the girls are asking the boys and the boys are asking the girls. Back in the day, were both genders asking each other out to dance?
Well, I'll put it this way. Life is strange. Not strange, but when you dance, if you dance single, you dance single. If you dance with another guy, if two guys dance together, ain't nothing wrong with that. You see, most of the time, you see two girls would dance together. So the trouble is, but when you dance, dancing, I tell guys and I tell girls, dancing is having a conversation
Yes.
without opening your mouth.
Yes.
You understand?
And
When you do that, when I say without opening your mouth, what happens now? I don't have to talk. A woman talks with her eyes, the way she looks, the way she moves. But if you do this here, it's nothing. But if you do it slow, I say, oh, Lord. Now, you see the way that girl moves? That's the thing. Dancing is having that conversation. We are animals, just like everything else in the forest. A peacock. Yeah, what a peacock.
So Sonny, also, she was wondering, as far as like, did women ask men to dance back then? Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do that in a minute. If they see you, they'll ask. Look, women are bold now, man. They'll ask you want to dance? If you say no, they say, you think he's soft.
Even back in the Savoy days, the women asked if they wanted. Okay.
But girls will tell you, if you can't dance, don't go over that area. You know that before you even get there.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
All right, guys, do you have another? Oh, thank you, sir. Do we have one more question and that's it? Or we're good? Another question? Oh, one more. We're not good.
What?
We're about to get good.
Can you finish telling the story about Tito Puente getting thrown out of the Savoy?
Oh.
You said stay on the Savoy. You said stay on the Savoy.
I tell you, well, actually, when it comes down to, a lot of people didn't know, a lot of Latin was done at Savoy Ballroom.
Yes.
The guy that started doing a lot of Latin at the Savoy worked for Chick Webb Orchestra. His name was Mario Bowser.
Yes.
From Cuba.
Yes.
He was a saxophone player. When you hear Savoy, the tune and the record that was made in those days, and you hear the solo, that was Mario Bowser. He was responsible for the Palladium.
Yes.
Because he used to play downtown with the Roomba bands downtown after they worked uptown. You see? So Mario brought his brother-in-law and his sister here.
Machito.
Which was Machito and
Graciela.
Graciela. I knew them. Okay. But I learned from them that listen to the music. Don't run. Where you go? I see girls want to do all. You don't have to do all that. You know the best Latin dances. I'll tell you. I hate to go there. The best Latin dancers you can find.
Sonny.
Is not a Latino.
Okay.
If I tell you who they are, you would never believe it. Huh? Japanese. The reason why is this. I had two girls that worked for me, and one is Yuki. She has a dancing school now in Texas. Asians dance with their eyes. They know how to use their eyes. The same thing, they use fans, most Asians, right? So if they use fans and they put their hand here and they do this, what happens? Think you had two fans? The fans open up. You bring it down, the fans close. Bring the fans open and turn it around. And it's out. And they move like that. And they look at you when they dance. Girls here,
Sonny.
they, in their world, they doing all the
Listen, Mr. Sonny Allen. So we can stay here forever, right? Because he got it for us. So you never told us what happened with Tito Puente, but you gotta wrap it up. You gotta wrap it up, sir. You gotta wrap it up. You're gonna wrap it up on this.
Tito Puente.
Okay, guys, you want to tell us about Tito Puente?
Tito Puente was booked at the Savoy.
Okay.
With his band and everything else. And I'm downstairs with Charles Buchanan outside. And they had the band started playing. And Charles Buchanan went upstairs and he had Cootie Williams with the other band with, versa, vice versa. Cootie Williams started playing. And all of a sudden, Buchanan went upstairs and went downstairs. And the guy was downstairs setting up. He said, "Where's Tito?" He said, "Well, Tito will be here later. We're going to set up and we're going to start." He said, "No, you ain't going to start." He said, "What's yours?" He said, "No, So all of a sudden, 15 minutes later, Tito walks inside there, big. He said, "Look, let me tell you something. You see that sign up there? Continuous dancing. You understand? Now, I hired Tito Puente and his orchestra. I didn't hire Tito Puente Orchestra. I hired Tito Puente and his orchestra." He said, "Now, if you can't be here when you poster, get the fuck out of here." Oh. That's what he did.
We are streaming.
Buchanan and them, they didn't play about that.
Yeah.
But that was the big thing about that.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect. I said respect. That's what it is.
That's
It
right.
is. Well, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Sonny Allen.
I'm
You are amazing. I wish we had more time to get with you. Actually, guys, so did all of this, talking about the Savoy and watching the dance and watching the video, don't you want to move a little bit? You want to move a little bit or no? Some of you guys do. So we're going to bring back out Sammy and Candace. Yes, and Candace.
Let me go over there. Yeah.
Oh, 1 second. Sonny, will you be attending any of the other celebrations throughout the week? Will you be attending any of the other celebrations?
Yeah.
You said yeah.
I don't know where at, but I'll be at they got me. No, I got to do where's Julia? Julia, the 28th, the 21st. I'll be where?
You'll be at
Riverside Church on the 21st. Yeah.
Savoy Elders.
Right.
So, yes.
Yeah, and then I'll be around.
He'll be around.
Put my name someplace. I'll be around.
Now, if you guys want to get on your feet to do a little bit of dancing, come out, Sammy and Candace.
Sonny Allen, everybody. The legend. Fabulous. Now, when our friends start to plug in my music, I do want to give a shout out to everyone who came today. I just love that there's so many people that are in the audience that basically helped my Lindy Hop journey. That Sammy had introduced me. I'm new to the Lindy Hop world, but I met some fantastic friends right here, 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 right here. Hey, right there. Who else I know? There you go, because you all now a joy of my life. You are my family now, so yay.
We're all ready to go.
You got the music? I'm ready for the music. I'm
Yeah.
ready to go. We're going to get in some night train.
Okay.
Oh, well, you know what? Actually, I know some of these folks. Let's all stand up.
Stand up, yeah.
Hey. 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 Do we all know how to do a little Lindy Hop up in here? We do it a little fast, I think. All right, everybody. We're gonna do a little class. Oh, you want to do a little
if you want to come down.
Little dancing?
If you want to come down a little
Here
bit.
we go. I can't hold it.
Come down. Come down. Yeah. 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 Hey.
That old train will so blow, on a banner will be coming slow, and whenever it gets to its stretch, it will jump, and I'll check right on into the station. Along with me.
Who else want to come down? Come on down. Come on down. Come on, Charlie. Go in here. Come on down in here. Find some space. Come on down. Yeah. All right now.
Don't hold me up. I got to stay so long.
Oh, get in there.
Lock my door.
Woo. A little space over here too. Hey.
I'll take a cab. So sweet pie. Won't have to wait. If you little train was so blow, on a banner will
We're in Harlem.
and whenever it gets to its stretch, it'll jump. It'll turn right on into the
Yeah.
along with me. Like Jimmy.
Give us some night train. Hey.
On ahead and we night train.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do teach them like the little class part when they're up. Oh. Hello, everybody. So some of us, we know how to do this. This is called the Lindy Hop. Rock step, triple step. Step, step, triple step. Here we go. We're going to start on our right foot. Okay, just dance. Oh.
Y'all can just dance. Let's live a life. It's just right partner. Come on down. Hey.